Hold on, they about to fight. Hey, yo, we grabbed him by the hair. Hey, yo, whoa. 10 times an NFL coach almost threw it down with opposing player. Let's get into it.
What is going on, guys? It is very rare for NFL coaches to get into intense confrontations with opposing players.
Facts.
It's almost an unwritten rule where coaches don't get into it with guys who aren't on their own team.
Yeah.
But this is the NFL, where emotions are always on the brink of boiling over. Every now and then, we witness a rather tense
10 times an
match
NFL coach almost threw down with opposing player.
Number
Let's
10,
get it.
Andy Reid and Jared Goff.
Okay.
One can easily argue that no current NFL head coach is more universally loved than Andy Reid. Not only is he a winner and a future Hall of Famer, but this man is full of class and personality in every way. And hey, thanks to Reid's brilliant mind, the NFL has a new face of the league in Patrick Mahomes.
Yes, sir.
Reid is as easygoing and relaxed as it gets. It's practically impossible to imagine this guy getting overheated. Surprisingly, Jared Goff, of all people, found a way to bring out Reid's angry side during the Chiefs-Rams Week 11 Monday Nighter in 2018.
How, Goff?
In the second quarter, Reid called a timeout after the Chiefs were flagged for pass interference. Reid challenged the call, believing that the ball was tipped at the line of scrimmage, therefore nullifying defensive PI. Reid was seen screaming at the officials, and when the Rams quarterback entered the commotion, Big Red angrily ordered him to leave.
Your word. Let me see. Yo, that boy snapping on. He said, "Boy, get out of here, boy. Who is you, boy?" That boy said, "Yo, get out of here."
But the Rams went on to win this historic shootout 54-51. Number 9, Rex Ryan and Richard
Could've won that game,
Former
though.
New York Jets and Buffalo Bills head coach Rex Ryan made himself one of the NFL's biggest villains during his coaching career. The reason is simple. He talked a ton of trash without ever really backing it up.
Yo, no
the
cap,
Jets won
though.
0 Super Bowls.
It won
Never
no
kept
Super
guaranteeing
Bowls.
them. Ryan was often the butt of jokes from several opposing players. Just ask Wes Welker or Tom Brady, who even ran a Rex Ryan audible. Well, then Seattle Seahawks cornerback Richard Sherman couldn't help but taunt Ryan during the Bills-Seahawks Monday Night Football contest in Week 9 of the 2016 season. After Sherman snagged an easy interception off of Tyrod Taylor in the third quarter, the former went over to Ryan and mean mugged him. That caused an angry outburst from the Buffalo head coach.
Let's see what happened. Hold up.
Watch Richard Sherman.
Hold up. Hey, yo. That boy went over there flexing, though. That boy went over there flexing. He's staring him
Rex
down.
brings these things upon himself. Number 8, John Harbaugh and Kiko Alonso. John Harbaugh of the Baltimore Ravens has the reputation of being a lovable player's coach.
Yeah,
His
he's
style
cool, bro.
clearly works, as the Ravens have been one of the AFC's elite teams since his arrival in 2008. But Harbaugh is no pushover by any means. When the time comes to stand up for his players, Harbaugh will happily do it. Such was the case when his Ravens hosted the Miami Dolphins on Thursday Night Football in Week 8 of the 2017 season. Now the Ravens dismantled the Dolphins by a final score of 40-0.
God.
This game was highlighted by Kiko Alonso's ugly hit on Joe Flacco. Late in the second quarter, Flacco rolled to the right and attempted to slide near the first down marker. Even though Flacco was getting himself
that boy held me off. Hold up.
From delivering an unnecessary cheap shot.
Hold up. Wait. That boy lifted him. Hey, yo. Hey, that boy was snapping him on the side, too. Hold up.
Understandably, Harbaugh was livid and went over to scream at Alonso. The two had to be separated by officials before things could escalate. Somehow, Alonso avoided the suspension, and he was only given a $9,150.
They charged that man lunch money.
Belichick and Adam Thielen. He may be the greatest coach
in
NFL history,
9
but Bill
bands?
Belichick certainly isn't the type of coach you'd take out for a beer. He's known for running an ultra-tight ship in Foxborough, and he's not all that friendly with opposing players, unless your name is Ed Reed or Peyton Manning. Belichick is quite grumpy with the media, and it seems like no NFL coach yells on the sidelines more than him. It is what it is. The man expects perfection. Usually Belichick is screaming at the officials or his own players. But during the Patriots' Week 13 2018 home game against the Minnesota Vikings, Belichick got into an unforgettable screaming match with wide receiver Adam Thielen. The Vikings were awarded a first down following a run on a 4th and inches play. Belichick threw the challenge flag on the spot, and that enraged Thielen for whatever reason. You don't have to be a lip-reading expert to see what Belichick said to the Vikings star wideout.
Let's see what he said.
And now he's into it with Adam Thielen.
What he said? Wait, I can't repeat what he said.
After the game, Thielen said he simply lost control of his emotions and wasn't directing his frustrations towards Belichick. The Patriots coach took the high road and said he has a lot of respect for Thielen, and that he's a great player. Good on them for showing maturity and respect for each other.
I don't know, depending on what you said, bro. I don't know.
Confrontation that the internet will not forget anytime soon. That's for sure.
You said some fighting words is different,
and Reggie
bro.
Nelson. Unlike most entries on this list, there actually was some form of physical contact here.
Really?
The Steelers visited the AFC North rival Cincinnati Bengals in the 2015 wildcard round. This game, for as thrilling as it was, will always be remembered for being downright dirty. Cheap shots, costly penalties, heated scrums, confrontations on the sidelines, you name it. This was not a clean game by any means. One of the many heated moments of this tilt featured Steelers offensive line coach Mike Munchak getting into it with Bengals safety Reggie Nelson. While trying to push a Steelers player out of bounds, Nelson's momentum carried him into the Steelers sideline. Mike put his arms on Nelson and proceeded to grab him by the hair, leading to a brief clash between the two, before officials stepped in to break it up.
Pushed outside.
With his hair?
Flag for that.
Hold on, they about to fight. Hey, yo, we grabbed him by the hair. Hey, yo, whoa.
But the NFL rescinded it following an appeal. Just another strange saga from this wild Steelers-Bengals rivalry. Number 5, Brian Flores.
Nah, bro.
Things got ugly between the Miami Dolphins' Week 13 2020 home game against the Cincinnati Bengals. Several altercations between the two teams led to 5 ejections in this contest. Even Miami head coach Brian Flores, known for his calm and relaxed nature, looked like he wanted to fight in this one. Mike Thomas and the Bengals was flagged for hitting Jakeem Grant way too early before the latter could catch a punt return. Their early hit led to a bench-clearing brawl between the two teams.
I think I remember that, actually.
Infuriated Flores went over to the Bengals sideline and started screaming at them. Von Bell of the Bengals even put a hand on Flores, who was quickly restrained by offensive lineman Jesse Davis and an official.
He put hands on him? He put hands on him. Hey, yo, they don't touch Flores, bro. Hey, Flores, throw them hands up. Throw them hands up.
The coach is trying to prevent his players from getting into such brawls. But in this case, Flores had enough and decided to defend his players. We're sure the Dolphins appreciated that one. Number 4, Rob Ryan and Andre Smith. It's pretty rare for an NFL coach to take an unsportsmanlike penalty, but you really have to be out of line to cost your own team 15 yards. And it just so happened that then Dallas Cowboys defensive coordinator Rob Ryan was rather out of line during the team's Week 14 road game against the Bengals. Early in the third quarter, Ryan was hit with a 15-yard unsportsmanlike conduct penalty for entering the field and screaming at Bengals offensive tackle Andre Smith.
Who's on the field? It's the defensive coordinator, Rob Ryan. What are you doing out there, Marshall?
That boy was on the field talking. Hold on, that boy, how you got on the field start trash talking, bro?
But Ryan looked rather childish throughout the entire incident. At least the Cowboys went on to win 20-19, thanks to Dan Bailey's last-second field goal. Number 3, Joey Porter and Adam Pac-Man Jones. Remember the aforementioned Steelers-Bengals 2015 playoff game we talked about? Remember we mentioned how tense and fierce it was? Yeah, well, the Mike Munchak-Reggie Nelson commotion on the sideline was only a part of it. The Bengals led 16-15 with 22 seconds left. The Cincy defense needed just one last stop to clinch the franchise its first playoff win in 25 years. Vontez Burfict was issued a 15-yard personal foul penalty for hitting Antonio Brown in the head on an incomplete pass.
I remember that, actually.
Moments later, Pac-Man Jones was handed a 15-yard personal foul for getting into it with Steelers outside linebackers coach Joey Porter on the field.
Wait, what happened?
It's Joey Porter, one of the assistants. He's had, of course, back in his playing days, scrapes.
So the Steelers get 30 free yards, which set up an easy game-winning field goal by Chris Boswell. And with that, the Bengals' stake without a playoff victory continued, all because of 2 careless personal foul penalties. Number 2, John Harbaugh and Malcolm Butler. The Ravens welcomed the Tennessee Titans in Week 11 of the 2020 season, 10 months after Mike Vrabel's team handed Baltimore a stunning and humiliating road loss in the AFC divisional round. After the Titans players huddled at midfield prior to kickoff, cornerback Malcolm Butler shouted some words at the Baltimore sidelines. This caused Harbaugh to come over and confront Butler, which led to a pretty intense scrum. Officials and other coaches came over to break it up. And the refs were seen warning Vrabel and Harbaugh before kickoff. The Titans went on to win 30-24 in overtime. So Butler and the Titans were able to back up their pregame trash talk.
Let's see what happened. Oh, that boy was trash talking Harbaugh. Hold up. Hold on, that boy was snapping on him. Oh, that boy better get active. Yeah, if you don't turn around, hey man, come on,
brushed the whole thing off after the game. But something tells us that neither coach will forget about this incident the next time these two teams play each other.
You're a legendary coach, boy. You don't let him talk to you like that.
This was as close to a legitimate fight between a coach and opposing player as you could imagine. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers hosted the Green Bay Packers in Week 12 of the 2002 season. John Gruden's team made quite the statement with a 21-7 home win, forcing 4 Brett Favre interceptions while sacking him 3 times. For the heated confrontation between then Packers head coach Mike Sherman and Bucs defensive tackle Warren Sapp. Sherman was unhappy when Sapp dished out a dirty blindside block on Chad Clifton during an interception return. The latter had to be stretched off and hospitalized. The Steelers promoted the league to rework the rulebook regarding blindside blocks. The Packers head coach went over to Sapp and called it a chicken play. Cameras and mics caught Sapp going over to Sherman and challenging him to a fight.
What? Hold on, no way. Ooh, we're talking.
Put a charge down. He's so tough. Put a charge down.
Ooh, he's talking him. He pushed him. Yo, that boy get active.
And acknowledged that although he may have overreacted, he didn't think the hit was appropriate. What other instances did an NFL coach almost throw down with an opposing player? Join me in the comment section below.
Yo, that's crazy, man. Hey, bro. Hope y'all boys enjoyed this video, man. If you watch this right now, appreciate you. See you in the next video, bro. Bye.